So hey everyone, I'm C5 Crash Dummy, and I chose that name because my usual gamer tag, tac shooter, because I play tactical shooters mostly, wasn't available. So I chose something aviation related, C5 Crash Dummy, because when I was in the Army, I was in a C5 Galaxy crash. So that was the best thing I could come up with. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about my childhood, check out some places from my childhood in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And then there are two other chapters of my life that I want to explore some of the locations from those chapters of my life and tell you guys some stories while I'm checking them out. I tried to mess with the manual cache in the options in order to increase the quality of certain locations, but I found that as I downloaded certain locations, it kept dropping my quality level down. So and I'm not sure I'm set back to default settings as far as that goes, so I hope that isn't a problem, because I moved it over to my D drive because I wanted something larger. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. So it looks like night is on its way, right? Rises in the east, sets in the west. What is this, Bermuda? Yep, Bermuda. Oh. Triangle's pretty big, the Bermuda Triangle. I think it goes to here and here. Not sure. Alright, so I wish it would show nine. Wonder how I change my that's UTC time. How do I change my time zone? Let's back up. Is there an option? General, sound, traffic, miscellaneous. I'm not sure how to do that. Maybe UTC time is something that pilots automatically know. I don't know. Let's see, I gotta go back. I'm very new to this, just downloaded it last night, very early in the morning at midnight. Welcome. This is general. That's back at options. I don't want to be in options. I want to be at the welcome screen. There we go. Okay, so back to the world map. Wonder if there's a... Nope. I change that? Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. So, what is this? Rockledge. How do I get the satellite? Cocoa, Cape Canaveral. Oh, there we go. No. There were textures there for a second. There we go. Can we keep that, please? No, I guess not. I don't know if I have to download those ahead of time. Okay, so somewhere, I'm not seeing bridges. So it has departure and Captain Woody's. Oh, must be another player. And then there's arrival. Okay, I'm gonna try this out. Yeah, that's right where I want to be. Okay. Ready to fly. Okay, spacebar isn't working for pausing, so what the heck is the button for pausing? I guess they're checking the key bindings. Keyboard. Where's the pause button? Action pause is what I want. Oh, I can search for it, right? For all. Search by name. Pause. Toggle action pause is pause. But what is that on the controller? Did that work? Validate? No. I mean, where's the pause button on my keyboard? I don't... Oh, well, there's a pause break under page up. I can try that. No. Oh, that did work. Now I gotta find the... Wait a second. This is maddening. Camera. Drone external camera? F? No. Zoom. Drone camera. Or is it switch camera modes? Cockpit external view mode. Toggle drone. Insert key. Okay, go back. Zoom. Or speed up. Oh boy, I need to like reverse those sticks or something. Oh, these sticks need to... Okay. Alright, so this is Cape Canaveral Hospital, where I was born. It's also where my father died, and where they wouldn't let me see his body after he died. So I never got to say goodbye to my father. I showed up 1 hour late after they moved him from the ICU, and even though I showed up dressed in a suit, they treated me like some kind of criminal for wanting to see my father. So, screw these guys. You know, I guess it didn't matter that I was born here. They're just jackasses. So, let's see, gotta do something about those sticks. So this is 520. Back when I was a, let's see if I can, there we go, level out the horizon a bit. Back when I was a kid, they used to say, they used to have bumper stickers that said, pray for me, I drive 520. And, oh, I gotta do something about those sticks. See, this is up and this is down, and I'm wanting it to be the other way. Let's see if I can do that real quick. Controls, controller, slew, translate, forward, left stick, where's right stick? Right, slew, yaw, right, slew, pitch, down. I don't know, 2, whatever. Okay, slew pitch down. I changed that one. And now I want to change this one to up. I hope this works. Why is it used somewhere else? Down, up. Apply and save. Go back. Resume. I don't think I fixed it. No, I didn't. Whatever. Alright. Oh. Yeah, let's get some altitude. I want some speed. Give me some speed. And this is Kiwanis Island. I guess if you're a member of the Kiwanis Club, you could hang out here. I think I was only there once. And let's see, 520. This is Merritt Island. And not right here. It's another place. Somewhere along here. I think that's a gas station there. I think right here is the gun site. It's a should be a building there. It's an indoor firing range. And this is killing me, this camera. So I think it's right here. Okay, so first I was born, and kind of getting out of chronological order here. Let's get some height. So this is Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral area. There are these barrier islands off of the mainland, which you see. This is Merritt Island. Are there 2 strips? I'm not sure why I'm seeing another strip of land there. I'll figure it out later. These controls are doing my nut in. Now there's a way to get more speed, but I don't know how. Obsidian Ant showed it, but then no. Press, no. It's not that. What about this? Whoa. Oh, there I am. Up there. In pause. I wonder what that looks like to other players. I'd be kind of miffed if my top tier video game footage was ruined by some player who was stuck in active pause mode. So here 520 continues and get to the end, and there's like a bar down here, I think, if I remember correctly. Maybe not, but this over here, is it this one? I think it might be this one. Somewhere around here is Ron John's surf shop. It's supposed to be world famous. You might see people wearing t-shirts of having visited Ron John's. Anyway, you could go to the beach here. Oh, did someone pitch a tent that day? Or is that a lifeguard stand? Now, I'm not sure if the quality of these objects, I'm set at high, and I'm streaming, so the quality might not be as good as it could be. And this is the Cocoa Beach Pier, which strangely I remember it being right at the end of 520, but I guess not. So right about here, when I was about 10 or 11, maybe a little younger, my uncle rented a surfboard for me to try it out, and I wiped out pretty hard. Like my face like hit the sandy floor bottom underwater because a wave just pummeled the heck out of me. And then my board got loose and it almost smacked a little kid. So I didn't stick with it. I didn't enjoy it enough the first time to want to continue with it. I just preferred to what they call body surf. Just you would let a wave just carry you along. So let's get back to US 1. Or A1A, excuse me. This is A1A, runs along the beach. And, golly, spastic. Come on, let's go. Or wait, this is... A1A is now over here, actually. Right? So this must be some other road. Anyway, right, I'll show you where I think the first place that I lived as a baby. My father was working out at Kennedy Space Center, which is off in the distance looking forward. And that was during the moon missions, the Apollo moon missions. And I was, let's see, I was less than a month old when man set foot on the moon. And so my parents watched it on television, but I think my father may have had to work at the time. Okay, somewhere around here. I want to see if Flight Sim got it right. Okay, this is too far. It might be right here, but that doesn't look quite right. Looking for a horseshoe shaped. Oh yeah, these are neighborhoods here, so that's not it. Is it this one? It might be this one. So that would have been, or this one. Except that there's 3 buildings right together, so maybe not. Yeah, no, this is the baseball fields that I knew were near the first place I lived. And so I'm looking for a building that looks like that. I'm not seeing one. Let's see. Alt-tab. Okay, there's the baseball fields. And where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, that's right. It was on the right side of the of this road. I'm pretty sure. I believe this is it. Jefferson Avenue? I think that's it. So there it is. Right there. So this is where I lived when man set foot on the moon. How about that? So when they say you can find your house in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, they mean it. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so now I'll show you a couple spots here. Might as well head out along the beach. So this would be one of the cruise ships. Now, for those who talk about global warming and the sea level rising, this is the Clubhouse at Jetty Park. This is some of the parking, and over here, somewhere along here is a gate where you pay. I think it might be right there, where you pay to get in. This is a separate loading area for the cruise ships now. May have been before when I was a kid. We never went on any cruises then. And so like I said, that's the Clubhouse. Along here, you don't, well, you could see that in the texture, but you don't, it's not modeled. You've got large, almost granite looking rocks that are called the jetties, and that's why this is called Jetty Park, I guess. And the jetty runs out along here, and fishermen would walk out onto the jetty to fish from here. And also they created this like concrete pier, and I don't think that was there when I was like 8 or 9. I think they added it around the early 80s, maybe, or... Yeah, so I think it'd be late 70s, early 80s they added that, I believe. Okay, so back to global warming. So those of you who think the ocean level is rising, this beach has not changed since the 70s when I was a kid. So if the ocean was rising, you could see how shallow the walk is out to the beach. It would rise, and it would be up to here. The where they call them sea oats are. Alright, so then we'll head, this is called Port Canaveral, this area, by the way, and then Cape Canaveral is off in that direction, and that's where the Space Center is. And really the Space Center is something that deserves to be looked at all on its own, not in a little storytelling session like I'm doing right now. Especially since I really only visited it as a tourist myself, even though I lived in this county. This is a new building that they created that I think a lot of people from Brevard County consider it to be an eyesore. I don't know. There's a lot. I mean, there are buildings like this all over the U.S., so I don't know what they're whining about. So, what is this? Blue Points Marina? Oh, the sun is setting. I'm running out of storytelling time. There you go. There's a nice Florida sunset for you. So right here, and obviously there are openings underneath this bridge. This should be a bridge. And there's a drawbridge. There's a drawbridge you could kind of see, and then there's the drawbridge attendant's little station there. But my grandfather would fish from right here. And I'll back up away from the traffic so you can hear me better. He would fish from right there. And he and, I'm not sure if it was a nephew or a cousin, but it was a young man, especially compared to my grandfather, who was like 80 at the time. And they both caught like 200 fish one Sunday morning right there. Took my grandfather a long time to clean them all. And I don't know if these are supposed to be boats. Yeah, yachts and stuff. So, if we follow this, now they modernized the bridges right there. So now they're larger, more impressive. They want I guess they wanted the tourists who are coming. I'm not sure. I think this is part of the B line, they call it, from Orlando. So they want the tourists from Orlando to be impressed as they make their way into Port Canaveral, because they're headed to cruise ships normally. Okay, now this is Merritt Island, I believe. There's a place here that makes, I think it's called Sea Ray, and they make nice boats. This might be Sea Ray here, not sure. Or maybe this. Let's see. Harbor Town, okay. I don't think that's really like the name of a town or anything. It's just like saying basically that's where a good place to keep boats. I remember one Sunday during the winter, we're driving back from the beach, and I saw my first shooting star up in the sky about here. What's this? Can't tell. Huh. Sun is setting. Oh, this might be the modernized bridge right here, because I think there's the old bridge on the right and the new bridge on the left. Maybe. So right here, this is River Road. I'm not sure if this far north it's still called River Road. On, let's see if it was over here. Yeah. This is called High Points, and let me get away from the traffic so you can hear me better. So, and you have a lot of this white sand around in this area, but this place, High Points, as you can see, like Florida is very flat in this part, and to us little kids, this place, High Point, was the highest, most impressive place. You can see it's not that it's not that crazy, and then right here, it doesn't really represent it very well, but it does go downhill. It does go downhill a bit there, and to us that was so impressive. It was like a roller coaster to us, and it's nothing. So so River Road continues. Let's see if I can wait. Let me get my bearings because I want to show you something else. So this is now US 1. And I think that's a Walmart. So as you went this way, when I was a kid, there was always this road right here. And it just went nowhere. Nobody ever used it. And it's before they put like this very proper curve in this road. But this would go off in this direction, and we knew that it would connect to 528. Or, I mean, that it would almost connect to 528. And instead, you'd go around this curve, and here's the newer post office that wasn't there when I was a kid. All of this was like a plateau of white sugar sand. But you would take this turn, and then you got like some kind of like refineries, industrial area over there. But and then you would get on here and then take 528, you know. So it was like, why wouldn't you just connect the road here, finish this up? So, and they never did. And all of this along the left and right side of this road was undeveloped. And this, I believe, is the entrance. Okay, all of this was the dunes. We called it the dunes. You could see some of it here. And we used to play out here because it was just dunes and some bushes of white sugar sand, and no one ever did anything out there. The adults wouldn't go out there. So it was like playland for kids. And so here you have these quadruplexes, and then this was sealed off. This was all the dunes, and then they created the quadruplexes. And let me see if I can get rid of some of that sound. Master volume. Reduce that a bit. Resume. Did that help anything? It doesn't seem to have. General. Sound. Voices. Aircraft engines. Aircraft cockpit. Other aircraft. Environment. How about that? And then put the master back up. Okay, that's better. So, this neighborhood, and this was after the apartment at Cocoa Beach. This was the house my parents bought, and then they sold it to my grandfather. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Sound, environment, apply and save. Are you saving? Voices, aircraft engines. I don't know. Are car engines considered aircraft engines? Other aircraft. Let's just do this for now, just to make sure. Back, resume. That's better. Okay, so then oh look, someone's leaving. Oh, someone's coming back. They can't decide what they're doing. There's actually a house here. It's not like overgrown. They just have big trees, I guess. But so my grandfather, wow, look at those trees. That's a little too tall, I think. He had like a hedge separating this, but so my grandfather, I guess, bought the house from my parents, and then he proceeded to like cultivate one of the nicest gardens in the neighborhood. And even though there's white sugar sand everywhere, like over here, let's see if you could still see it. Yeah, back here. This was Mr. Brown's house, and there was quite a bit of white sugar sand back here, but it wasn't as easy to play back here because, you know, the people in these houses could see you through the chain link fence. So one time we were like playing with fire back here, and then we got yelled at by the, you know, the owners of one of these houses. You know, because boys like back then would play with fire. So this is, I think this is Otterbein. Not sure, I forgot what this is. But this was a neighbor, Mary, so her yard bordered my grandfather's yard, like all these huge trees. Maybe they're there now, but I think I can't imagine that the trees are that tall over the house, but maybe. So there's like two ways. We can either go this way. Ugh. And this is a court. This is a cul-de-sac, so I don't know where they're going. And this is like a half cul-de-sac. And we had I think my aunt and my uncle lived at this house, I believe. I don't think it was that one. And see if I can find my way to the other neighborhood road. And this house, the homecoming queen, with the same last name as mine, lived here. Then there's another court here, right? No? Yeah, see? We TP'd this guy's house once, or we're going to, and anyway, some cops came. We took off. The cops followed us to the dunes and got a warning from the cops. So this is, I think, Slippery Rock. And I didn't know there was a lake there, but see, they put in these grocery stores. There's a Publix here now, right? Yep, see, Publix. And my grandfather always wanted all these stores nearby, near where he lived, but this only happened when he died in 2001, and he lived there since the early 70s, I think. So let's see if I can figure out. This is another cul-de-sac, yeah. There's a girl from my school lived in there. Excuse me. So this road, and then another cul-de-sac, I think, yeah. We trick-or-treated all this area. Like this guy, I was with one of my cousins, and this guy gave us apples, and we just threw the apples away because we were afraid that the apples would have razor blades or poison in them. And I think the man saw us throw the apples away. It's one of those things that I'm kind of ashamed about. So, anyway, we'll follow this again. And I used to walk all of this. I missed something. Go this way and then this way, I think. Yeah, there we go. So this, I think, is 2-lane. It's kind of hard to follow because of the trees. And so 2-lane hits, I think, is this Michigan? Anyway, there's a fire station, like, right, I guess, here. You can't see it for the trees, though. And this was like a local gym, like an actual full-size gymnasium, and they had summer camp there. We did it one year. My mother didn't want us like hanging around the house, I guess. This is Clear Lake. There used to be a wooden pier going out into Clear Lake, and we used to swim that, and then they eventually shut it down because there were parameciums or something. And we always heard that there were gators in here, but never saw a kid get eaten by a gator. But this is the library. They built a new library for the local community college. This is a some kind of like solar energy study facility, something or other. It's colored very differently, like a baby blue and gold, I guess, like sky and sunlight. This, so this is all called like Eastern Florida University or something now, but it used to be called Brevard Community College. And one of these, this right here, this spherical shaped room, there was a Dr. Lynn Osborne. He created this like theater of flat screens arranged in this fashion, and like on each of the support pylons he would have a camera to project on one of the opposing flat screens, and he had these like slideshow animated sort of presentations with music and sound effects, and he taught comparative religions, but he just called it world religions. And he had been to Egypt and Greece and all these places, so he created these presentations where you could look in a panoramic fashion, like 360, as if you were there at Egypt or Greece. It was so cool. I don't think he's alive anymore, which is a shame. But if you liked Campbell's writings, I guess, on religion, then you would probably really dig what Dr. Lynn Osborne had to say about religion. Let me see. I'm not sure what all these little lights are. If that's just there to give the illusion of street lights. So this is the like an admin building, cafeteria. It's probably still there. This is one of the classroom buildings. All of this campus, as kids, we used to cut through here to my house over there. A lot of us lived in that neighborhood. Was called College Green, because it's just north of Brevard Community College. And I want to show you the planetarium. So, and you've got lots of other classrooms in all these buildings. But here's the planetarium. and we used to take field trips to here because of the schools I attended are within walking distance of here, which I'll show you. But I never really got to, I think, see anything with the telescope until I attended an astronomy class here at Brevard Community College. Now, if you continue, you get to Cocoa High School, home of the Tigers. I think this is Cocoa High here, and there's a road. I think this is it. And one time we were playing, when I was a teenager, we were playing Killer. Actually, I wasn't one of the contestants, but I was tagging along with a friend who was playing Killer, which it was like Gotcha, like the movie Gotcha, but I don't think they were using like suction cup dart guns or tracer disc guns or something instead of paintball guns. And you would, when you played, you would be assigned, people to kill, and they lived like throughout the town, and you would have to like case them out, find out when they were vulnerable, and take them out like a hitman, and then you had the added danger of, maybe a cop seeing that you had a concealed toy pistol or something. So it was pretty crazy. But one time we were in the back of a friend's El Camino, I think it was, chasing another car down this road, and I'm firing like a cap gun, except they had like automatic cap guns back then, at the car as I'm riding in the back of the El Camino. I'm firing the cap gun over the hood. Just teenage shiza, but fun time nevertheless. You didn't, have computer games like this amazing thing. So, yeah, that's Cocoa High. Cocoa Beach, by the way, is where Jeannie and Major Nelson lived in I Dream of Jeannie. So let me show you how and why we used to cut through this campus. And these are some baseball fields. I never went there. And right at the bookstore now, I think it's this building right here. Now there was a lady, Mary Elizabeth Parker, was that her name? Anyway, her office was right here, I think, right in this corner. And she had been on this campus for like decades, since like she was there when my dad attended this college when I had just been born, or when they had just gotten that house. And anyway, she was part of the old guard, and then like these new corporate types moved in, I guess, and that's why this place is like Florida Eastern University now and not Brevard Community College. But finally they got rid of her, I guess, or she died naturally or whatever. But she said the KGB tried to take her out, tried to assassinate her because she had rights to one of like a certain orbit, like for satellites or something, and they wanted that or something or other, so she was kind of an eccentric type. She had a little dog. She was like one of the only faculty members allowed to have a dog on the campus or something, because she'd been there for so long. Anyway, back to but she was a nice lady. I went to visit her once. I think she invited me. So back in here, okay, this place was called, I think, the Billiards, and we'd go in there as like 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, but they were serving liquor in there, so, or at least beer, and adults were smoking in there, so it was kind of like this, forbidden place where you weren't totally comfortable there. But on this side, they had arcade games, and one of the best arcade games they had was Sinistar. And you would go in there, and Sinistar would say, "I hunger. Run, mortal. Fools, run, run, run," and all this. And then, like at one point when Sinistar would get fully built, it would roar. It would go roar, and it would send. It would make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Sinistar, one of the best arcade games ever. So this was the road to Cambridge Elementary, and we would walk this, and then Cambridge is right here. And so it was here, like right about, let's see, can I go in this building? Oh yeah. So right under this catwalk right here, they were having like some kind of fair in the evening at this school, and my parents bought me some cotton candy, and a couple little jerk kids, boys, ran by me, and one of them took his hand and just swiped the whole head off of my cotton candy and left nothing but a little around the paper cone. And that was one of the moments when I learned like how unfair life was. So, and I was kind of like, and I don't know, you might say I still am. Okay, so now this was all woodsy before. There was nothing but woods here. And if you didn't take this road, there was a path that ran through the woods parallel to this road that went to the school and to the bike rack, which I think is right there. That's the bike rack. This is how amazing this game is, people. Okay, and there was a gate, and it would be open, but then when school started, someone would close that gate. Well, I guess I was late for school, so I decided to take a shortcut through this dirt road, through the woods, and I found that the gate was locked. So I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of sat there, and I saw an adult down the path, and then he disappeared into the woods, and then he emerged again near me, and then he informed me that I think that there was an alternate place you could slip through or something over here. And then so I got to put my bike away and go to school. But over here in the concrete, I would say could be right here or right here. They put time capsules filled with our like artwork and our contributions. And I intended to be there at the year 2000 to see the time capsules dug up and to check out my drawings of, look, there's a plane in the distance. To check out my drawings of Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica. And here the buses would turn around, and I don't know if the kids actually loaded up right here or along these wings, because I never got to ride the bus at Cambridge. But I do remember that like Santa Claus rode in on a red fire truck once. And about here somewhere there was a merry-go-round, And during a winter in which I actually had like a faux plaid fur coat on, and I think it was like when I was 5 years old, I had a cold, and the snot was like just dripped out of my nose all the way down onto the merry-go-round. So then I wiped it off on my faux fur sleeve of my coat and just matted down the fur with my snot and just grossed out all these kids. So you had all these nice, really lovely trees on this and on the grounds here. This school had a really nice playground, and sometimes you'd have to walk around the grounds. You had lots of portables. Anyway, I had one of the most beautiful, kindest kindergarten teachers ever. And life's just gone downhill from there. Not really, but I mean, I was in heaven. It's probably the best, like the optimum situation for a kindergartner. So once I got in trouble, and then I was sent to the principal, so you had to like walk these, there's an opening through here, and had to walk under the sheltered walkway to go to the principal's office to, I imagined, to get paddled. So instead, because I was kind of a sneaky kid, instead I just hid behind these shrubs on one of these wings here. Probably either this one or this one. And then I just waited until the buses started moving out, and then I just walked home. And then they never asked me about it. So, you know, that's like one of the advantages of being like so forgetful that you become invisible and like no one gives a crap about you. So even when they send you to the principal, they don't bother to ask why later. Or maybe they just never considered that a kid would never actually, refrain from going to the principal. So that's Cambridge Elementary. And both of my little sisters, by the way, also had the same kindergarten teacher, which we were quite elated about that because she was just she reminded me of, or rather Natalie Wood reminds me of her. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, is that Clear Lake? That is Clear Lake. Okay, so this was the middle school I went to, Clear Lake Middle School. And this was a whole different order of schooling. This was the library. My first locker here was on this exterior wall. These were open catwalks, balconies, whatever. And I had a sleigh maker lock because I was a poor kid. My parents had divorced when I was 8, and but a sleigh maker lock was like, you could buy one for, I don't know if it was like 50 cents or $1, but they were super easy to bust. And the bike rack was out here somewhere. And I had a bike and it got stolen there because I had a cheap chain lock with one of those dial combinations on it where if you just pulled the dials to the side, you could pick the thing so easy. And let me see. So here's the gym where we had games. and sports, played soccer on this field. I think we did the president's like physical fitness test or something out here. You could earn a medal. I never did. But this was, and then there was this track. Let's see if I have time. There was another school I missed. Oh, let's see. Let me go back here real quick. So yeah, I mean, I could fly all this, but I just have more control using a drone. Now, my cousin, he lived back in here, I think right about here, I think, somewhere right about here. And we used to go to the pool. There was a little building type thing. Looks like they added some kind of clubhouse here that wasn't there before. There was like this kind of box type thing. We'd climb up on it. I think it was right about there. And then jump off. But, okay, running out of daylight. Or rather, running out of light. So yeah, it's BCC, Brevard Community College, is really well lit now. Huh. That's so cool, man. This is just amazing. I mean, using this, I can literally like travel the world on a dime. I can familiarize myself with the places that I might actually visit. I can like scout out views to see whether something is beautiful enough to spend money on before I actually go there. This is just, I've never been so enthused and impressed about a civilian flight sim as I have about this. I've been watching, Obsidian Ants videos, and there are a couple other people, and I wish I could remember their names right off the top of my head and give them some credit. But just seeing what this can do, and I love the fact it integrates like real-time flight data. I mean, I believe it does, right? Real-time, real-world flight information. And I don't think I have mine set for that right now, but I do have the weather set. And we did have some bad weather, and that might be it out on the horizon there. But we had some bad weather this evening. But okay, I gotta find. We're in Merritt Island now, so this should be North Courtney. And yeah, this is the court, like clerk of courts, I think. This is, or rather was, an oriental place called Mr. Knees. And my grandfather he loved eating there because, well, he was, I don't know if it's proper to say he is being that he's passed, but do I say he is Filipino or he was Filipino? Anyway, and he would cook lots of Asian food for us. I ate very healthy food growing up in his household. I want to find... Oh, I gotta go one more over. Oh, I should check out the mall. Oh, I know what I want to show you guys. There's a bowling alley around here, but that's not what I want to show you. Let's see if I see it. I think this is it. Wow, it's not modeled. This is now a church. I believe this is what I'm looking at. This is the bowling alley, I believe. Oh no, no, because this is like a pyramid-shaped church, and then there's this geodesic dome. And these things have been here since I was a kid, I think. And I didn't know that there was another pyramid behind it. Huh. Wow. I just never went there, you know. Let me see, is this the bowling alley? No, that's the new Publix. What's this? There's a building there, but it got stunted. Ugh. I think this is the... somewhere around here I had to get my concealed weapons permit. Oh, there was a... I think it's right here, isn't it? Yeah, there was a Publix here, I believe, and I worked there for very briefly, because I worked for Publix for like a total of like 5 years or something. I was retired with them twice because they have a profit sharing plan, or at least they did. I don't know if they still do, for their part-time employees. So I think, is this the bowling alley? Anyway, so when you would quit with Publix, you'd have these stocks, and then eventually the company would say, do you want to sell these stocks, or what do you want to do with them? And yeah, I'd always take a lump sum payment. So when I went to work for them again, the manager called me in and he said, you're retired with Publix. And I said, what? Because I was like 22 or 23 at the time. And so he had to unretire me. Okay, so this is, I think, 520 again. And TJ Maxx right there. And this is a back road to Merritt Square Mall. And yeah, along here. And then this is, it's not lit up, you can't see it too well. This is Combat Zone Sports. Or it was, rather, because it just moved to, you could see it from 520 in Cocoa, but it's off of King Street. This was, became Central Florida's first indoor airsoft arena. And this was the shop. And then he had some fields. Here's the paintball field, or rather the speedball field. And it put a house here, but there's no house right there. What there is a like a overhead shelter, like a pavilion type thing, for staging area for players. And then here's the trenches field. I need to come back and check this out during the day so you can see it. So, if you're looking to play airsoft in Brevard County, Florida, oh, look at that. Wow, the Milky Way. That's gorgeous. Must look absolutely stunning in 4K. I'm sorry, I don't have 4K, so I can't show you that. But, see, so here's the mall. And, so it's kind of colorful and more fluorescent looking than it was when I was a kid. But there were theaters right here. There are still theaters there now, but they look very different. You had to actually go up like these ramps, either these steps in the center or ramps on the sides. And then there were theaters there, and this is where I saw the very first Star Wars movie in 1977. And I was 8 years old, and it blew my mind. I had never seen a science fiction movie that looked like that. My father and I used to watch tons of them on the TV, but Star Wars was next level special effects, man. It was crazy. and of course the toys just fueled that enthusiasm. Now there was another building here. This was a Publix, and I actually worked here for a few months also. But I want to show you another place where I went to school, where I lived. Did I cross 520 already? I think I must have. Yeah, because this is a back road. So this little strip of land roadway here. I need some more light. I wish there was a night vision mode in this game. I guess I could turn the gamma up maybe. I haven't really looked to see if the gamma settings are... There's this long drive, or not, not really long, but it just seems very long because the strip of land is so narrow. There's water on each side. And then you'd get to this place. If I could see it. And there's like a delta. Is it right here? Yeah. So there's like this shop, but there's this delta. Like you can... Anyway, so you can go left and go up North Banana River Drive, or you can go right, and then I don't know if that's South Banana River Drive. It's north of 520, so maybe not. So we'll proceed forward. Let me see if I can ramp the gamma up. See, general graphics, gamma. Advanced settings, VSync. Strange, I don't see anything to adjust the gamma. Why wouldn't there be a gamma adjustment? Interesting. Anyway, we'll just resume, I guess. So, we don't have much light left. So it'll be really hard to find my house on this road tonight. Maybe I can find the school that I went to. I once walked with my Uncle Joe. I called him Uncle Joe, but he was my grandfather's brother, and our house was down along that road on the right side, looking in that direction. We had to walk from there along this road. These like fields, like softball fields and stuff, they weren't there at the time, but this park was. I'll tell you a story about that. So this gas station was always here, and it's still there. But I had a friend and neighborhood boy, like actual neighbor boy, and I remember something about buying some toys here in this, and it was some little cheap ass molded plastic crap, but yeah, I don't remember the exact details of the story. Something about like the amount of money it cost, or I don't know. Anyway, but this is where we had to go to buy some cigarettes for my Uncle Joe, and I forget, but I think he died of lung cancer. I could be wrong. Probably have some family correct me on that. But here was not a good memory. Because at the mall that I showed you, Merritt Square Mall, my dad bought me a Space 1999 dinky die-cast Eagle spacecraft. And it was, I was a poor kid. My dad didn't have a lot of money for that kind of thing. And he was a Trekkie, so he wanted to buy me the die-cast Enterprise, but I wasn't really that into Star Trek. I was really turned on by Space 1999, which he didn't seem to appreciate Space 1999 as much. But maybe it was something about the moon blasting out of orbit that didn't sit well with him, given that he worked on the Apollo moon missions. I don't know. Anyway, somewhere here, I think it might have been this one, or this one. I think it was this one. I took my Eagle to the playground. We went here as a family. My dad wasn't there, my mom and us. And I went to play on the monkey bars or whatever. So then my mother said, okay, it's time to go. And I think she was, walking off toward the car. Well, I had forgotten about the Eagle, and it was sitting there on the on the picnic table under this pavilion, and so I left without it. And then like a week later, or maybe days later, I realized what I'd done. And I don't know if I asked to go back to look for it, but I was certain it wasn't going to be there. And then my dad found out, and I just felt pretty bad about that. And since then, I've bought two more, and I bought the second one recently by mail, just as kind of like a I don't know, what do you call it, like a self-love kind of thing, trying to heal the mistakes that I've made, that because I don't know what it is about my psychology, but like the things that I really regret, even something, seemingly trivial like that, I can never forget them. I mean, sometimes, and I don't know what allows it, I'm able to just, forget about it. But other things like this, I remember it. For decades, I don't forget about it, and I relive all the bad feelings that come from those things, and it just bothers me. I had someone tell me, well, your mistakes are part of what make you who you are, but it's like, and I'm I don't know if you would call me a religious person or a spiritual person or what, but I was raised to believe in God and to want to live, as a good person, and obey the commandments, and so part and parcel with that is forgiveness, and and that God will forgive you, if you mend your ways. But it's like with things like this, it's like I can't seem to forgive myself. It's like the emotional experience was too intense, and when I remember it, I just relive it. And you know what? Buying like a replacement Dinky Eagle, it doesn't fix it. I not fully. Maybe a little it does, but it doesn't really fix it. But you try, because you don't want to live, keep having those feelings resurface. Anyways, too dark really to show you this. Oh, I remember now. Wanted to go back here, follow this road, and here, down this road, is the school, not Creel, but Robert Louis Stevenson. Now at this school, I was also sent to the principal, and this, I don't know what this catwalk thing is here. That wasn't there before, and these weren't there before. Some kind of extension, but at least I don't remember that. And so I was sent to the principal, but my classroom with Miss Townsend was like down in here somewhere, right about there. And this was one of those weird schools where everything's in like a box-shaped building, and you're separated by walls. The classrooms are separated by walls. Kind of reminiscent maybe of the Breakfast Club school. So I was sent to the principal, but the principal's office was like probably right here. So I walked out, and I just walked back and forth on the sidewalk, And when a teacher or someone would come out of one of the doors, I would change direction. So I did this when I was 8 years old. And just never went to the principal's office. And again, the next morning, no one asked, why didn't you make it to the principal's office? It's like no one cared. They didn't, they cared enough to send me to the principal's office, but they didn't care enough to follow up on it. So, and, I don't know if you want to look at that as like some kind of revelation or, about my character as a person, but I was 8 years old, right? They would send letters home with me to my parents, and I would realize that this is a letter to my parents, and it's not saying anything good. Otherwise, they would find another way to talk to them about it. And so I would throw the letter away. And it wouldn't be until the PTA meeting, the parent-teacher conference or whatever, that they would finally ask, have you been getting these letters I've been sending along with you? And I would do the same with the homework I was assigned. Just pitch it right in the garbage can. No, no one really cared. And really, when you're 8 years old, really, is that the end of the world if you don't do your homework? So, and it wasn't that I really needed the homework, because it wasn't until my first year of high school, ninth grade, that I failed any course. Well, no, I did take summer school 1 year at Clear Lake Middle School, but ninth grade they didn't have summer school, so I actually had to repeat a year. And the friends that I did have went on to O'Galley High School, and then I stayed at Johnson Junior High, which is farther south in Melbourne. And so eventually not doing my homework did catch up to me, but most of my school years I could test just fine based on just paying attention in class and make it, to the next year. I just didn't dig homework. I mean, we would spend all day in school, and then you want me to take work home to do when I could be playing? You're on my time now, right? So, and I've seen like some amounts of home. Oh, and 1 year we saw a launch, because they used to regularly launch rockets and Kennedy Space Center's off in this direction, and we observed the launch and see these trees. Let me see if I could show you. I'm not sure if it's that one or these right here. Anyway, I'd call them like papyrus trees, because the bark was like this soft, almost like foam that you could write on with a pencil or ballpoint pen. And yeah, they had those. I went by here recently when I think I went to get my concealed weapons permit, and talked to one of the owners, and some of the trees were still there. So I think that's going to wrap it up, because there's no daylight left now, and I could like fly around, but I've got some other things I want to show you guys. I want to show you some of the places I went to while I was in the Army, and then some of the places I went to in my religious pursuits, like places I went to actually learn more. And I've in both the Army and pursuing religion. I've seen, a number of different areas of the country. So I want to check those out and show them to you. And I hope that I've demonstrated in this video how real this world is. That you can literally take a walk down memory lane in this game. And I'm not being paid to say that because, I mean, look at my system. I'm not on the highest settings. I'm not on ultra settings. And I don't have a 4K, display. And my graphics card doesn't do ray tracing or anything. I'm not sponsored. I'm just, when I started watching Obsidian Ant's videos, I saw how special this game was. The same way I've seen it in other games like Operation Flashpoint, which at first it was just called Flashpoint. And then Codemasters became the publisher, and then it became Operation Flashpoint. But I was like one of the first 20 English-speaking fans. Fans that could actually speak English. They didn't have to be, English didn't have to be their primary language, but they had to be able to speak English. And there was a Cold War website hosted by a fellow called And1, and I think you can see him in the Arma Cold War Assault credits. I think you can see the name And1 in there. I could be wrong. Anyway, my name's in the credits of that game, and I could see how special that game was. And probably the one thing that kept Operation Flashpoint from being as popular, although, it won PC Gamer UK's Action Game of the Year for 2001, but what probably kept it from being as big as Battlefield was lack of mid-game joining. That was a flaw, like a fundamental flaw in that game, and it wouldn't be fixed until Operation Flashpoint Elite came out on the classic black Xbox. And that was another case of knowing how special a game would be. Unfortunately, Codemasters did not distribute that game very well. They dumped all their copies on Finland, maybe because of its close proximity to the UK, I don't know. But every GameStop in America might have gotten 1 or 2 copies of Operation Flashpoint Elite. But let me tell you, I've never experienced such great, diverse multiplayer. And what I mean by diverse is that the people playing it were diverse. Whereas maybe in PC Operation Flashpoint, maybe then it was mostly white guys of various nationalities playing, right? But on the classic black Xbox, you had brothers, you had Hispanics, so you would have this truly diverse, which was very typical of an army squad. You would have these very diverse teams of players coming together. And Operation Flashpoint Elite blew these Xbox players' minds because the game was infinitely replayable because of its mission editor. Microsoft made sure that the mission editor was dumbed down for the Xbox, but they still weren't able to limit the replayability of that game by virtue of its mission editor. And I don't think that Microsoft really liked Operation Flashpoint Elite because of its replayability, because they wanted to sell more games. They wanted players hopping from one game to the next. And when the 360 came out, I was so unsatisfied with the multiplayer community on the 360, because that's what players would do with achievements. So many players were achievement hunters, so they would only play a game. It didn't matter what the quality of the game was or how much fun it was. They were constantly moving on to another game. So it was very difficult to have this core group of multiplayer gamers on the 360. But on the classic black Xbox with Operation Flashpoint Elite, you had guys that you would see on there, for months. I got laid off at one of my jobs. They had a plant closure, and Operation Flashpoint Elite came out about then. I just used up my 401k and lived off of that for a year and played Operation Flashpoint Elite day after day. And I had, there were players on there that I saw for months. And one of the guys, who is now goes by the tag Pseudonix, I still play games online with this guy, Unfortunately, I'm getting to the point age-wise where my reflexes just aren't on par with his anymore. I mean, I think I used to be able to give him a run for his money on Operation Flashpoint Elite, but not anymore. He's too good now compared to me. So, but we have a little gaming group called the Co-op Collective, and we're trying to get more players. So if you enjoy Arma 3 on on the PC, or if you play Ground Branch, we play that sometimes too. Also, Insurgency Sandstorm, and Pseudonix. I have it. I can play it, but Pseudonix really likes Star Citizen, and he plays that a lot. So if you're into Star Citizen, you can, join the Co-op Collective, and we try to have, satisfying gaming sessions where, it's like a midway ground between total realism and total hilarity, right? I mean, we try to be somewhat serious, but we don't take it too far, right? We don't we don't wear uniforms while we're sitting in front of our computers or anything like that. So anyway, I should close this stream down. My voice is going. I've got a lot more to show you, and let's check out this plane. This is a plane out here, right? See if we can see what this guy's doing before we close it down. Or is that just a tower? No, I think it's something flying. Yeah. Yeah. What's he doing? Anyway, I'm looking forward to when there are helicopters in the game. Because sightseeing with a helicopter would be so amazing in this. can't tell. Is that someone driving their airplane down the beach? Or is that a boat? Yeah, it's a plane, all right. What's he doing? It's just flying low, I guess. Ugh. This is amazing. Is he gonna land? If he's not landing, he's pretty skilled. Or did he land? He did land, didn't he? Is he just practicing like touch and goes on the... Is this his house? Is that why he's pulling in here? No, it couldn't be. Anyway, oh, he despawned. Wow. That's crazy. Oh, no, is he there? Huh. Wow. Anyway, okay, so we'll stop here. If you've been watching, thanks for joining. And stay tuned, because I'm going to show you some other pretty amazing places. And this isn't like super amazing, you know, but some of the other places that I'm going to show you are, in my opinion, more amazing. But this was not a bad place to grow up.